I trust my church friends.
I gotta do a little prayer first.
What's up, beautiful people? This is BlackChurchTok, your online churchy friend group. I'm your co-host, Clarissa.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Marcellus.
And today we have the beautiful, our good sis, Zybrea Knight with us.
Hey, y'all.
What's up?
We are going to go over a couple of things pertaining to therapy, the mind, mental health. And so we brought in Zybrea Knight, who is a therapist. Amen. Amen. Jesus in therapy is all good. So how we start off, we always like to ask our guests, describe who you are in 45 seconds.
Okay. In 45 seconds. Whew.
Or
I
less.
might be under that, yeah. Well, one, I am definitely an introvert, so I like to put that out there. Some people are like, why she talks so soft? That's just a part of my, personality. But outside of that, I love to mentor young women. I am also an evangelist, so I preach, I teach. And then the best part, honestly, for me is being a therapist. I get to help people live whole lives for themselves. So that's a little bit about me.
Before we, go into like the deep questions, what is one of your funniest church stories?
This actually is a whole bunch that I could think of, but one recently I was at a holy convocation and the service got high. And next thing I know, I looked over and this lady started going off and she went forward and then went back and the wig flew like 2 rows behind. I said, oh my gosh. And I lost it, y'all. I could not contain my laughter.
What did she have underneath? Was it like braided? Was it like a cat?
It was a cat. It was a good cat. Like a good cat. And she had to go down. Like someone had to get the wig, bring it to her. I said, oh no. Her daughter was laughing. I looked over. I said, yeah, I'm going to have to step out for a second.
Oh my goodness. Did the wig land on somebody?
No, it just flew.
Oh my God.
They definitely had to get it.
Did she have to use the bathroom like for her finger wrap? Or did she just put it on?
She put that finger up. How was she going to move if she didn't want nobody to see it? They brought it back to her. She sat down, put it back on there as if nothing ever happened. But I cried laughing.
I would have been no good.
I think I seen some wigs fly off.
You seen some wigs? That was my first time.
Not 2 rolls though. 2 rolls is like.
That's crazy.
That thing was ready to be released. Bye. No, that happened to me before. Not me per se, but like I've seen it happen. This one young lady, she was shouting in church and her ponytail like flew off and it fell on my mom's lap. Oh my God. And we were all cracking up. My mom was like, Jesus, Jesus. And she just passed it to her so like politely, like nothing happened. I'm like, yo, her ponytail just came off and fell on your lap.
That is crazy.
I ain't got to worry about no wig, so we can.
Yeah.
Us guys, we could just go in.
So I'm trying to like work on like the whole shout. Like I got the shoulders right. Like I could in church, I got the upper part, but now I got to work on my legs and the shoulders together and do it together. You gotta be coordinated.
You gotta be coordinated.
I can do it in the house, but once the spirit hit and all that,
it's different.
I don't know how to.
You might be one of those like wild shouters.
I hope not. I'm too tall. Kick somebody, smack somebody.
No, but you got a good wall shout though.
Oh yeah,
you definitely got a good wall shout.
Okay, you're a wall shouter. That's
yeah.
Keep
your violence up.
Okay, all right. Cheer shout. I got you.
We call this game prayer balloons. So the object of the game is to fill the basket with as many balls as you can before the timer go out, but you can't let the balloon hit the ground. Oh my God, this is not.
You want to count?
Okay. Kind of hard.
I'm a cheat.
You want to cheat? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15.
I was like,
oh shoot.
Went nowhere. Oh.
Oh shoot.
Oh, I got it. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24. Hey, what? We just put your face in a turd.
That's crazy.
Alright.
Alright, tell me when to start.
Ready? The pressure on.
Go. Come on, you got this. You got this. Oh, yeah.
Shit, more than 15?
Yeah, it looks like it's more than 15 here. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Ooh, my strategy, nice, God. Oh, he missed it.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14! I did it fair.
Thank you. Let's take a sip. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing, except we're gonna be in teams this time with 2 balloons.
Yo, you cheating already.
Ready? Count us down. Yo, you're cheating already.
What did I do? What?
Zybrea's therapist.
Oh, you
You're a
cheated.
cheater. No.
Wait.
Oh, shoot.
He lost. He lost.
Yep. Ready, go. To the left. Hit it. To the left.
Oh.
Hit it. To the face.
Oh.
Hit it.
Hold on.
Hit it. Your butt.
Oh, nice.
I drove about too far over. It was too far over. Far over. That was hot.
That was fly. We'll let
So
you
we
have
gonna
it.
count?
What do you call you, Zaza? Let's go. How you? Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going. Right there. Keep it up. Oh.
That's kind of. Y'all can count first.
No, you got it.
13, 14, 15, 30, 31, 32.
The time Jesus died. 33 years.
33 years.
33 years.
It's cool.
It was meant to be. Go ahead.
16. It's cool. 18.
Oh,
20. 22. 24. 26. 28. 29.
That's all right.
All right.
go.
All right.
You
I'm
were
like,
close
All
though.
right, so our next question, you said you were a therapist. Do you believe that Christians should see therapists or go to therapy? And do you also believe that there's kind of like a stigma tied to going to see a therapist?
So the first part of your question, yes, I do believe that Christians should see therapy. I think all people should see therapy, no matter whether you're religious or not. And then to the second part, is there a stigma around people who are in church or who are Christian going to therapy? Absolutely. I think a lot of times people just rely on deliverance being the spiritual part of a healing journey, and they don't, take into consideration of the natural components that help you live out your deliverance. So I'm a big believer and pusher for deliverance and therapy. Because they're both a part of the process that can kind of help you get rid of, those generational traumas and things of that sort. So, yeah, absolutely.
I agree. I kind of compare it to like going to the gym, basically. Right? If someone wanted to lose weight or something, I don't know if people just say pray it off. You would go to the gym, work it out, right? I feel the same way about therapy. If you need help mentally, where would you go? Church is a good place, but I also think you need somebody that is also a professional in that field.
Absolutely.
To help you like navigate life. I go twice a month and I'm proud to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a negative stigma,
And
if you say it, people are like, oh, you crazy. But no, it's more than that. More reasons to go.
And as a therapist, I have a therapist.
Okay.
I go once a week.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Once a week. And it's helpful. It helps me, decompress. Because when, as a therapist, you take on a lot, honestly. And even within the church, you can kind of take on a lot being in ministry. And I think that, again, all ministerial staff should be trained in some form of mental health, because that's what's coming in. So, and that's what's already there. You got people who have been there and they just sit knowing that they need to talk to someone. So,
do you separate the two, like your ministry and therapy? Or if somebody in church needed help, would you, or do you think that's like too close in proximity? You helping somebody in the church, or would you refer them to someone else?
So yes, I would, but there's something called conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm super close to someone who's in church who may need a therapist, I personally would not be able to be their therapist, right? But can I mentor them? Can I be their mental health coach? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But as far as a therapist, no. But I will refer them to somebody or give them the best person that I know. But me personally, no.
How would you
Very
like
wise.
with like the older saints when they be like, all things through prayer, right?
Yeah.
So how would you explain to someone with that, not just the older, but someone with that mindset?
One, they got to be ready to receive it, right? You kind of don't want to be talking to a brick wall. You can only get through to them but so much. Honestly, it would just be in my best interest to show them how it works, right? And then also provide them with testimonies, kind of using the same language that you would use in church and referring it to a more practical sense. But using those testimonies of people who have went through therapy, who are Christian, who are in church, sharing their story of how it helped them. And I think that helps ultimately because, seasoned saints, get through prayer, but it wasn't just prayer that helped me in this moment. This also helped me. So that real life experience usually tends to break that ice with the older saints.
That's good. Or they'll be like, I'm going to fuck that.
No. I was going to say, I was agreeing with Eric because that was going to be my follow-up question. The former generation, right? It was a lot of, oh, you don't need therapy, you need Jesus. But it was like, okay, but the Bible also talks about godly counsel. Like, you know what I mean? And the older saints, it was more so they held everything in and they dealt with it between them and Jesus, but they were also suffering mentally, and even in the Black community, it was a stigma, not just church, right? We talk about being in the Black community. It was just like, well, if you go to therapy, then you must be crazy or something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that we are moving past that in this younger generation, right? We're going to therapists, we're seeking godly counsel, because it's strengthened that.
It is. And it's, ironic that you brought up cultural because a lot of times that's what is the main fact, necessarily church, but just the Black culture. And in the Black church, a lot of culture plays into that. And so if outside the church, this is what they're saying, you basically bringing, your human perspectives into a spiritual place where necessarily it doesn't matter. So.
That's awesome. I was going to say, that's a great follow-up question. I was going to kind of make a comment about, I believe people back then, like our fathers or grandfathers, whatever, they just worked it off or slept it off. Like they never had the opportunity to talk to someone. So I kind of wanted to sit with you. That was a great question. How could you even present something to them? Like what other options or alternatives would you say to help them release some of that anger? Or like, is it like going to get a massage or something, go for a walk? If they don't want to receive therapy, how could you kind of like influence them to release some of that?
Are you specifically asking about Black men or just in general?
Black men. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, with Black men, honestly, they are tough, but they're also, in my opinion, very emotional too. And it takes, sometimes just sitting down and talking to them to get to know that about them. If they are opposed to therapy, I would recommend, the going to work out, going, on walks or just taking time for themselves. One thing that I've started to do is I intentionally maybe once a month or once every 2 months, I go on a weekend or take a couple of days where I completely unplug. I'm not working. I'm not answering emails. I'm not answering social media, nothing. Right. And I find that helps. So in a world where a Black man is consistently, having to be dominant or having to, be in all of these dominant roles, it's good that they may need a break. And that can be their therapy if they're not ready to talk to someone on a, weekly or monthly basis yet.
That's awesome.
I trust my church friends. All right, here we go. I gotta do a little prayer first. Yo, that was very forced.
That was bad. I feel like it's going to hit me.
Okay. Is this first? Okay.
Wait, she gotta say it first.
You ready?
Yep.
I trust my church friends. I knew it. I'm sorry. I said it's gonna hit me then.
I'm gonna say, I trust my new church friend.
You can say it. 5 minutes.
Like this. How does it go work? It's cool?
Yep.
As long as it's staying up there.
Alright. Alright, here we go.
You gotta say it.
I trust my church friend. Hey! Let's go. Let's go.
Sorry, Clarissa. I got you. I played baseball when I was like 8.
What, a little cereal box?
Ready? I trust my church friends.
Ball. I was trying to be safe. Like, I knew I was going to throw it hard.
Try again.
All right.
Air.
Yo, all these excuses, just hit her. Just hit her. Just hit her. There you go.
All right. I think I trust my church friends.
Hey.
Growing up in church, right? You being young, it was more talks about not needing therapy, right? But now people are opening up their eyes to needing therapy and wanting therapy. So how has that dynamic shifted for you?
Another loaded question. Well, growing up in church and also being exposed to, things of the world, I've got to see both sides, right? And so for me, I think when I was younger, growing up in church, I saw a more family therapy need. Whereas, since everything was whatever's happening in this house stays in this house, right?
Yeah.
Or as for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord, right? So everything was more family oriented when you're younger. So you have no choice but to do whatever your family does. So I saw the need for family therapy, and I actually have been to family therapy as a younger girl. And then I realized while in family therapy, there was a need for individual therapy. But of course, I was young, so I didn't really know the terminologies, didn't really understand how to be like, you know what, we don't need family therapy. Everybody needs to go for themselves, right? And so I noticed the dynamic shift once I became like a teenager. And I started to kind of venture out. I started to learn more about, my family. I started to learn more about members in the church. Like, you know what? I think that this is something that you don't need to just talk to your pastor about. You need to go talk to someone else about. So
You be diagnosing people? You don't diagnose, do you? Like
I can, yeah.
You be doing that like in your head?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. It just happens, right?
It really does. You just notice certain things. You be like, you might want to go see somebody. I don't say it out loud, but I do think about it. But yeah, I'm definitely an analyzer.
Mm-hmm. That come with the introvert thing. It's just like
it does.
A lot going on, and
Did you always know that you wanted to be a therapist, or did?
I always knew I wanted to do something in relations to emotional release. So it started out with me doing dance as an escape and, wanting to be a dancer, wanting to have my own dance school. And then that kind of was like, okay, but why am I dancing? And it was to get emotional release. And then from there, it kind of, led me right into just the field of mental health, emotional health. And then I'm like, oh, therapy. This is it. Like, that's what I want to do.
You are a therapist, but you're also a prayer warrior. I think that's true, right? You're a prayer warrior.
I would say that, absolutely.
Are there any instances where it is, like in that case, like prayer, like will get you through this whole thing? Or do you think it's always that balance? Loaded question, my bad.
It's definitely loaded.
Yeah.
And I'll be unbiased. I do think that there is times where prayer gets us through, and then there's times where you need both. In those moments where it's solely prayer is usually when I've discovered people who are going through that spiritual warfare, right? So where there's some things about the mental health field that doesn't understand spirituality and vice versa until there becomes, times where they can coexist in a way where it can be explained directly on how they can live together. So ultimately, to answer that, I do believe that there are times where prayer is the answer. It just depends on the person, the situation, and where they are within their spiritual journey.
Has it ever been a time where you're with a client and you just like, sweetie, you just need some prayer? Like, like I get it, but I'm gonna pray for you. Like in your head, I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a lot of times where I'm like, girl, if you just went to church or like if you just, read the Bible for yourself or start to build your own relationship with God, like some of these weights that you're carrying can be lifted, so I'm a firm believer in mind, body, and soul. And one of the things that I push sometimes within my practice, if my client is open to it, the spiritual component about it, because I am able to integrate it within my practice.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
then I push, and I encourage them to indulge more in their spiritual journey. So,
That's
and then
awesome.
there's times where, I may have a client who say, well, can you pray for me? Sure. I'm here for you right now. And if they say yes, I usually ask them, well, what do you want prayer for? Right? Because with me being a clinician and also a minister, I never want to go on my own discernment or my own observations. You always want to keep it focused on what the client is asking for, but you still introduce them to the atmosphere of prayer.
Do you think this generation understands the power of prayer?
I do. And reason being is because I'm finding a lot of millennials and Gen Z, they're open to who God is, right? There are a bulk who are saying, oh, I don't really know. But there are also a bulk who are not doubting him, even if they aren't, your regular churchgoers or, super duper into it, don't look like, your typical churchgoers, etc. They don't doubt who God is. And when things go left, they're always, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, just on social media and on a day-to-day basis, I'm seeing them be like, God, if you don't help me, I don't know how I'm going to get through it, right? So they're saying little things, even if they don't realize that is a prayer, it still can be considered a prayer.
Yeah. I definitely feel the shift in this generation. Like, I feel like more people are hungry for God. And even if they don't think that it's God, they're looking for a comforter, right? And they're finding that comfort in Jesus. So yes, I do agree with that.